Good day everyone. Welcome back to the rapid revision series. So in this video I am going to discuss about the rise of nationalism in Europe. And this is the key chapter in the history which covers almost 6 to 7 marks for your board examination social science. So first I will take the Frederick Soryu painting. Often they will ask about the Frederick Soryu painting in the multiple choice section, or sometimes even for the descriptive answer for 3 marks it will come. So let us take the Frederick Soryu painting. Frederick Soryu was a French artist. So what was the title? What's the title of the painting? The Dream of Worldwide Democratic and Social Republic. The first print which was prepared during 1848. The many political incidents which occurred during 1848, political incidents which occurred during 1848 is depicted by Frederick Soryu in his painting. So in this image, the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is the female allegory of the liberty, that is freedom. So the people, the different ethnic group people of Europe are passing through it and paying the homage by holding the tricolor flag. Tricolor flag represents what? Tricolor flag represents revolution. Tricolor flag represents revolution. Okay. As they are passing through the statue, they are paying the homage or respect to the statue. Already two flags already passed through that statue, that is USA and Switzerland, that already became nation states by the time. France flag is just near to the statue, that indicates during 1848 France became republic for the second time. During 1848 France became republic for the second time, and you can see the end of absolutist institution. Very important term it is, end of absolutist institution. Absolutist institution. Absolutist institution here refers to the despotic rule by the monarch. So many dynasties were ruling across the Europe by the beginning of the 19th century. So you can see the end of absolutist institution is shown in the picture by Frederick Soryu. How it is shown? The broken swords and broken crown on the foreground of the image represents what? Represents the end of absolutist institution. Here end of absolutist institution refers to end of despotic rule. One example for despotic rule is King Louis XVI rule during French Revolution, that is during 1789. So that you have to remember, that is an example for the despotic rule. Such rule or come to an end at the Europe is reflected in the painting by the Frederick Soryu by sketching the broken swords, shattered pieces of broken sword and crown on the foreground of the image. That represents what? That represents the end of absolutist institution, and it is depicted with a scene of sky. So in the sky you can see Christ, saints and angels. Saints and angels. So saints, angels and Christ are represented in the scene of sky in the painting, that represents the fraternity, universal brotherhood between the other nations in Europe. That represents what? Fraternity. Fraternity is represented in the picture by the Christ, saint and by the angels in the scene of sky. So what is the core theme of the painting means? What is the core theme of the painting means? It is utopian vision. Utopian vision. So utopian vision is sketched. Utopian vision is the theme represented by the Frederick Soryu in this the dream of worldwide nation of social and democratic republic. This sketch is there now. It is having a theme, utopian vision theme. That means utopian vision means uh, the society which is aiming to live happily. So the society in which everyone are living happily with each other is known as utopian vision. It is unlike to the existence of the France by the time. So utopian vision is sketched, or utopian vision is the theme of the Frederick Sorio painting. The that is the Frederick Sorio, the Democratic and Social Republic painting. Theme means in one mark question to remember what is the theme. Utopian vision is the theme. So in this painting, do not forget these words: end of absolutist institution, fraternity, and utopian vision. These three are the key terms which you need to recall. Next, I move to the French Revolution. You all studied about the French Revolution in your 9th standard class itself. French Revolution occurred during 1789 to 92. So you all studied this in your 9th standard itself. Here in the 10th standard, a 5 marks question is expected from the French Revolution section, that is creating sense of collective identity. So how the sense of collective identity was built up during the French Revolution. So this question often asked for 5 marks. So let us take this question. So there are six key points are there for this. Let us take one after another point. So what are the factors that created sense of collective identity? Means number one, la patrie and les citoyens. Idea of la patrie and les citoyens. Here I will write this one. Idea of la patrie. La patrie means fatherland. Les citoyens means citizen. So the idea of the fatherland and being feeling the land as the fatherland and having the what usage of the term les citoyen, citizen, fellow citizens, they are feeling that brotherhood and they are feeling that land as the fatherland. So these ideas, la patrie, the fatherland, and les citoyens, that is the citizen, these ideas created the sense of collective identity among the French people during the French Revolution. And number two, it is tricolor flag. So you all know the blue, red and white is the tricolor flag of France. So I already said about the tricolor flag. Tricolor flag represents what? Represents the revolution. So blue, white and red tricolor flag replaced the royal flag. Royal flag, the flag of the monarchical rule during the times of Louis XVI Bourbon dynasty. That flag, royal flag, was replaced by tricolor flag. So tricolor flag represents what? Represents, as I said, it represents revolution. So this also contributed for the creation of sense of collective identity among the French people during the revolution. And the formation of National Assembly, the formation of National Assembly instead of what? Instead of a State General. So a State General was replaced by National Assembly. So this is the another factor which is contributed for the sense of collective identity. So 3 points is already discussed. Number one, the idea of la patrie and les citoyens. Number two, tricolor flag replaced the royal flag. And number three, National Assembly replaced the State General. So these three are the key points which contributed for the sense of collective identity. Number four, new hymns and songs were composed. New hymns and songs were composed and votes were taken in the names of martyrs. So after storming of Bastille, many of them they sacrificed life for the sake of the fatherland. So in their names, they taken the oath, and new hymns and songs were composed, which created the spirit of nationalism among the French people. One example for the new hymns and songs. New hymns and songs. One example for the new hymns and songs, Song of Marsalite. New hymns and songs. One example is Song of Marsalite. So the people during the French Revolution who came from the Marsalite province sung the song for the first time. So during the protest, so that song famously known as Song of Marsalite, today's French national anthem or the France national anthem is Song of Marsalite. So new hymns and songs also contributed for the creation of what? Creation of sense of collective identity among the French people during the times of revolution. And another factor which contributed for the sense of collective identity was the establishment of central administrative system. So central administrative system brought, so central administrative system brought the feeling of oneness among the different people of the France during the times of revolution. So central administrative system created the sense of collective identity, and uniform weights and measurements, introduction of uniform weights and measurements Introduction of uniform weights and measurements is also another factor which created the sense of collective identity during the French Revolution. Different currencies, different weights and measurements were in usage before the French Revolution. During the French Revolution time, the uniform currency and uniform weights and measurements were introduced across the France. This created the sense of collective identity among the French people. And another point, French language. Another last point, it is French language. French language was spoken in the different dialects across the France. So now the French language which was spoken in the Paris became the common language for the entire France, and it became the national language, common national language. So the French which was spoken in the dialect of Paris, that became common language and national language. Even it contributed for the evoke of sense of collective identity. So if you take this term nationalism, from where it came means, cut right answer is French Revolution. So the concept of nationalism evolved from the French Revolution. So this is very important question, 5 marks question, which is most probably which may come for the exam. So if it is not there for 5 marks, at least in the multiple choice section or in 2 mark section, it will be there. So creating sense of collective identity. These are the key points. Idea of La Patria Lecita, tricolor flag replaced the monarchical flag. National Assembly replaced the Estate General. New hymns and songs were composed and votes were taken in the names of martyrs. Song of Marsalis is an example for it. The introduction of central administrative system. Uniform weights and measurements were introduced. French language became common language, common national language it became. So these are the key points which you need to recall for the sense of collective identity during the French Revolution. Next topic it is Civil Code of 1804. Let us take the next topic, Civil Code of 1804. So Civil Code of 1804 was introduced by Napoleon Bonaparte. So after the fall of directory rule in 1799, Napoleon emerged as the military dictator and it took the power into his hands. So during this time in 1804, he introduced few reformation which come to be known as Napoleonic Code or Civil Code of 1804. So there are few key points related to the Civil Code of 1804. So let us take those points for the discussion. All the privileges based upon birth were cancelled for the first two estate people, and everyone become equal in front of law. So you all know, based upon the birth, privileges were there enjoyed by the first two estate people, that is by clergy class and by the noble class people. So they were exempted from the taxation. All these were the privileges were there. All the economic burden was put on the third estate people. So there was no equality between the different estates. So after the introduction of the Civil Code of 1804, everyone became what? Equal before what? Before law. Everyone became equal before law. So before that, privileges were enjoyed by the first estate people. Now it got cancelled. Number two, Napoleon simplified the administrative system. The administrative system was very complex before coming of Napoleon. So during the times of Napoleon, he divided the administrative system into revenue, military, and so on and so forth. So he brought the systematism or systematic administrative system by simplifying it, by dividing it into different departments. So that is the another reformation done by him under Napoleonic Code, and he abolished the feudal system. So he abolished feudal system. Feudal system was abolished by him. So peasants were supposed to pay the feudal dues and manorial dues for the churches and for the noble class people. So such feudal dues and manorial dues were exempted from the payments, and complete feudal system was abolished by whom? Abolished by the Napoleon under the Civil Code of 1804. Number 3, guild restrictions were removed in the cities and towns. So guilds means the organization of the traders. So there were many restrictions in the cities and towns regarding the entry of the new traders. So guilds were imposed with many restrictions. So after introduction of Civil Code of 1804, guild restriction was completely eradicated, which made the new traders to come to the cities and towns to establish their trading. Number 4, transportation and communication was given more importance by the Napoleon. So he improved the transportation and communication system. He improved transportation and communication system and communication system, which helped traders and merchants to conduct the smooth flow of trade. So these are the key points related to Civil Code of 1804. Number 1, privileges based upon the birth was cancelled for the first estate people. Everyone became equal before law. Feudal system was completely abolished. Peasants were exempted from the payment of manorial dues and serfdoms. Number 3, trade restrictions were removed in the cities and towns. Number 4, transportation and communication system was improved by the Napoleon Bonaparte. And here, after the introduction of the Civil Code, peasants, artisans, businessmen, they all found new freedom, because they all got some sort of reformation in their life because of what? Because of the introduction of Civil Code of 1804. This question can be expected for 3 marks. Okay, so we completed Frederick Sorio painting, the French Revolution. Under the French Revolution, I discussed about the creating sense of collective identity. I discussed, and I also discussed about Civil Code of 1804, which is a 3 marks question. Next, I want to take about the fall of Napoleon's popularity. So after the introduction of the Civil Code, you can see the mixed reaction by the different territorial people who were newly involved into the French territories. So in the eventual of time, the people got disappointed with the administrative system of the Napoleon Bonaparte, and in the eventual of time, even the Napoleon Bonaparte's popularity started to decline. There are few reasons why Napoleon Bonaparte's popularity got declined. So that we will discuss. So Napoleon Bonaparte ruled from 1804 to 1815. So you all know in 1815 the combined force which led by British uh, defeated the Napoleon Bonaparte in the Battle of Waterloo. That you all know. So what were the reasons for the decline of Napoleon's popularity? Means number one, he imposed censorship and increased the taxation. Censorship was introduced by him. The people got dejected to it, and he also increased the taxation. Increase in taxation. Increase in taxation. So these are the two reasons. One, it is introduction of the censorship by Napoleon Bonaparte, and number two, increase in taxation. And another point is there, the Napoleon army became the force of invention. So they started to drag the other nation people into their army, forced conscription of the other country localites or the people into the army, into the French army, is also another reason for the decline of Napoleon's Bonaparte popularity. So Napoleon army, his army became the force of invention. Napoleon army, that is French army, became force of what? Force of invention. So the ambition of the Napoleon was to expand his territory further and further across the Europe. So to fulfill this ambition, the Napoleon army started to invade the other provinces across the Europe, and even they were intentionally dragging the other country people into their army. Forceful conscription to the French army made the people to get dejected or to reject the administrative system, administration of the Napoleon Bonaparte. So these three prime factors, introduction of censorship, increase in taxation, and the army, French army became the force of invention as they were forcefully dragging the people into the army. So these three prime factors led to the fall of Napoleon's popularity. So in 1815, as I already said, the Battle of Waterloo led to the complete downfall of the Napoleon Bonaparte. Battle of Waterloo led to the defeat of the Napoleon Bonaparte completely. So he lost his territory. So whichever the territories annexed by him to the France was just detached. Even a picture study is given in the textbook as a postman. Napoleon Bonaparte was walking, and the letters were falling from his back. So those letters are mentioned within names, which were the territories lost by him. Those territories' names were written on the letters which were falling from the bag of the Napoleon Bonaparte in that picture. So when we look into the picture study, we will come to that picture. So in the Battle of Waterloo, Napoleon Bonaparte was defeated by the combined force which was led by Britain. So Napoleon was defeated by the combined force, which was the combined force led by whom? Led by Britain, Russia, Russia, and Austria. So this combined force of four monarchical powers by the time, that is Britain, Russia, Prussia and Austria, defeated the Napoleon in the Battle of Waterloo. So in multiple choice they ask which were the combined force, which among the following is the country which is involved in the defeat of the Napoleon Bonaparte. So if you know these four monarchical power, you can answer those multiple choice question. Britain, Russia, Prussia and Austria. When Waterloo was waged, no, this battle was waged in 1815 between Napoleon and the combined force led by Britain, which were the countries involved in it, or monarchical powers involved in it, means Russia, Prussia and Austria. So after the defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte, the Treaty of Vienna was signed in 1816. So in 1816, the Treaty of Vienna was signed. Quite important question it is. Sometimes they ask you to elaborate about the Treaty of Vienna for 3 marks, or sometimes even for 5 marks, or in the 2 marks, or in the multiple choice section about the Treaty of Vienna. We can expect a question. Treaty of Vienna. So when it was signed in 1815 after the defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte. In 1815, Treaty of Vienna was signed between whom? Between the victorious group or victorious force, that is Britain, Russia and Prussia and Austria. Treaty of Vienna basically is a political agreement between the victorious European powers Britain, Russia, Prussia and Austria. What were the changes that came after the Treaty of Vienna? It's an often asked question. Let us see the points related to the Treaty of Vienna's terms and conditions. So, restoration of the Bourbon dynasty. So after Louis XVI, the Bourbon dynasty was thrown out completely from the France, from the power. So now you can see restoration of what? Restoration of Bourbon dynasty at France. Bourbon dynasty at France. You can see the re-establishment of the Bourbon dynasty into the power. That is the one change. Here you can see the conservatives were coming back to the rule after the decline of Napoleon Bonaparte. So restoration of Bourbon dynasty is the one point which you need to recall. And French lost its territory which were annexed by Napoleon Bonaparte by waging the Napoleonic War during his times. So France lost the territories which were annexed to it. France lost territories. Lost what? Lost territories. So those territories which were annexed by Napoleon Bonaparte to the France, those territories were lost by France. It was shared or it was divided between the victorious force. So France lost territories which were annexed to it by the Napoleon Bonaparte by waging the Napoleonic War. This is the second point. And number 3, setting up of the states of boundaries of France. So states were created or states were set up across the boundaries of the France. States were set up. States were set up across the boundaries of what? Across the boundaries of France. This is to avoid the further expansionist policy of the whom? Further expansionist policy of the France. So states were set up across the boundaries of France to avoid France to expand in the future. So series of states were created, series of states were set up across the boundaries of France to avoid the France to expand in the future, and monarchies which were overthrown by the Napoleon were restored. So monarchies who lost their powers during the times of Napoleon were restored. So conservative rule or conservative politics came back in Europe after the fall of Napoleon. So monarchies were restored. Monarchies were restored. Whoever lost their powers during the times of Napoleon. So these are the key points related to the Treaty of Vienna. So Treaty of Vienna was a political agreement between Britain, Russia, Prussia and Austria. So what were the points? Restoration of Bourbon dynasty at France. France lost the territories which were annexed to it by the Napoleon Bonaparte, and states were set up across the boundaries of France to avoid the further expansionist policy of the France. So monarchies were restored, whichever the monarch dynasties they lost their power during the times of Napoleon Bonaparte, they were restored to the power. So you can see conservative rule was relaunched or restarted after the complete decline of Napoleon at Europe. When it was during 1815. So these are the key points we need to recall for the 5 marks or 3 marks question, that is Treaty of Vienna. So actually here who hosted the Treaty of Vienna? It was Duke Metternich. Very important. Who hosted the Treaty of Vienna means it was Duke Metternich. Where he hosted? He hosted the treaty at Austria. He was an Austrian Duke. So Duke Metternich hosted the Treaty of Vienna at Vienna, that is at Austria. So Vienna is the present capital of Austria. So 1 mark question it is, Duke Metternich hosted the Treaty of Vienna. So it is very important to recall. So let us move to the next, that is about the revolutionaries I want to speak. So before going into that, famous statement of Duke Metternich is very important to recall. What is the famous statement made by Duke Metternich? So regarding the French Revolution, he made a statement, when France sneezes, the rest of Europe catches cold. That is related to the July Revolution of the France. He made this statement, when France sneezes, the rest of Europe catches with cold. That is the one famous statement made by Duke Metternich. Another statement is also made by Duke Metternich related to Giuseppe Mazzini, which I will discuss next. So what is the another statement made by Duke Metternich related to the revolutionary leader Giuseppe Mazzini means, he is the dangerous enemy of our social order. He is the dangerous enemy of our social order. This is the statement made by Duke Metternich related to Giuseppe Mazzini. So two statements are very important related to that multiple choice question may come. So you remember the name Duke Metternich. One statement he made related to July Revolution of France, that is 1930 July Revolution, and another statement he made related to Giuseppe Mazzini, who was the revolutionary leader by the time. So let us take the age of revolution. Before going into the age of revolution, we need to know about the Giuseppe Mazzini, the important leader, revolutionary leader who became enemy or dangerous enemy for the conservative rulers by the time. Let us take about the Giuseppe Mazzini. As I already said, he was the dangerous enemy for the conservative ruler. He was from Italian nationality. He was from Italian nationality. He belongs to the ethnic group of Italy. So his dream was to unify Italy into the nation state. So Giuseppe Mazzini was a great revolutionary leader. So he was born in Geneva in 1807. In 1807, he was born in Geneva, and he was exiled from the Italy for his revolutionary activities. He was sent out from the territories of the Italy for his revolutionary activity. He was exiled. Got exiled, and two secret societies were found by him, which is very important to note. That is Young Italy and Young Europe. Young Italy and Young Europe. So these were the two secret associations or secret agencies found by Giuseppe Mazzini, that is Young Italy and Young Europe. Young Italy, it was found in Marseilles. Young Europe, it was found in Bern. The formation of secret association in Italy is to unify Italy into a nation state. The aim behind the establishment of Young Italy was to unify Italy into the nation state. Giuseppe Garibaldi, who was the disciple of the Giuseppe Mazzini, was the member of this Young Italy. When we discuss about the unification of Italy, we will speak about the Giuseppe Garibaldi. Mazzini believed that God had intended nations to be natural units of mankind. So Mazzini's belief was that the God intention was to see the mankind as what? As the formation of nations. So nations to be natural units of mankind. So that was the belief. So God's intention to see mankind into nation units. That was the belief of this Giuseppe Mazzini. So who made this statement regarding Giuseppe Mazzini means it was Duke Metternich. I already said he was referred as dangerous enemy for the social order by Duke Metternich. Okay, that's it. So Duke Metternich described Giuseppe Mazzini as the dangerous enemy of the social order. So let us take the next one, the age of revolution. So regarding Mazzini, don't forget these two secret associations, Young Italy and Young Europe. Very important it is. Next it is the age of revolution. The period between 1830 to 48 was unrest in the Europe because two parallel things were going. One, it is revolutionary activities on the one side, and another side it was conservative rule. For the fear of conservative rule, all the revolutionary activities went underground. So only the formation of the secret agencies and secret societies were quite often. You can see in the Europe. This period was political unrest period in the Europe. So you can see three important incidents which is mentioned in the textbook. Number one, it is July Revolution. So July Revolution of 1830, it took place at where? It took place at Paris. At France it took place. You can see the July Revolution, constitutional monarch was established. Louis Philippe became the new constitutional monarch after the July Revolution of 1830. So the Bourbon dynasty was overthrown and constitutional monarchs. The monarch was bound for the constitution. Constitutional monarchs. So constitutional monarch was established in France after the July Revolution of 1830. Louis Philippe became the new constitutional monarch for the France. That is the outcome of the July Revolution and independence of Belgium. So regarding the July Revolution of 1930, Duke Metternich made that statement when France needs us, the rest of Europe catches hold. So next it is independence of Belgium. The spark of the July Revolution, which was ignited in the Paris, got spread across the Europe. The Belgian people fought for their independence from the United Kingdom of Netherlands, and Belgium became independent nation state. So that is the another event which is given under the age of revolution in your text. And number 3 under the age of revolution is very important, Greek War of Independence. Greek War of Independence was waged from 1829 So 1824 to 1832. So the Greece province was under the control of Ottoman Empire. They were exploited by the Ottoman rulers. So they raised their banner for the independence during 1824 and they fought for their independence for 8 long years and they gained their independence in 1832. Greek Greece nationalists are very important here. Greece nationalists. Greece nationalists gained support from the people across the Europe who had sympathy for the Greek culture. So one among them was Lord Byron. Lord Byron was from Britain. He was a British poet. He given his support for the Greek War of Independence because he had a sympathy for the Greek culture. So he raised the funds and he also participated in the Greek War of Independence. Because of fever, he got expired or he passed away during the war. That is Lord Byron. And Greek nationalists also got support from the uh, Greek people who were living in exile across the Europe. So here we have to remember the Treaty of Constantinople, very important. In 1832, treaty was signed. Which was the treaty? Treaty of Constantinople was signed. Treaty of Constantinople is very important. This treaty recognized Greek as nation state. The Treaty of Constantinople is very important. This treaty recognized Greek as what? Nation state. When it was signed? It was signed in 1832 between the Greek nationalists and the Ottoman empires, and Greek became independent nation state under the Greek became independent nation state after the Greek War of Independence. So these three are the very important incidents which we need to recall under the age of revolution, that is the July Revolution, installed the constitutional monarch. Louis Philippe became the new constitutional monarch in the France. Independence of Belgium, it got separated. Belgium got separate from the United Kingdom of Netherlands. And Greek War of Independence, you should remember the name Lord Byron. And Treaty of Constantinople recognized the Greek as independent nation state. When it was signed? It was signed in 1832. Under the age of revolution, next important topic which can be expected for the 5 marks question, that is era of romanticism, or how culture contributed for the evoke of national spirit. Often this question is asked either for 3 marks or for 5 marks. So need to know about the era of romanticism is very important. So era of romanticism means nothing but cultural contribution for what? For the evoke of nationalism. See, nationalism was not only awakened by wars. Not only the wars evoked the national spirit, not only the protest evoked the national spirit, even the culture also contributed for the evoke of what? Nationalism. One point we already know, new hymns and songs during the French Revolution. Hymns and songs contributed for the evoke of national spirit. Culture means what? It includes songs, novels, dramas, paintings, literature. So all these things are involved, and even the music, all these things were involved in the part of culture. So these things, poem, songs, literature, music, all these things contributed for the evoke of nationalism. So here few important names are very important. John Gutford is very important. Is a Is a German philosopher. Johann Gutford. This important term is Das Oak. Das Oak. German philosopher Johann Gutford given a message. What was the message? No, to find the true culture, we need to look into the folk culture of the land. In order to trace the true culture of the land, we need to focus more in the folk culture. Then we come to know the true culture of the land. It was the message, or it was said by whom? Said by Johann Gottfried Herder. He was a German philosopher. Grimm's brother are very important. These Grimm's brother, two Grimm's brother were there. Grimm's brother. Who are the two Grimm's brother? William Grimm and Jacob Grimm. So these two Grimm's brothers traveled across the different villages of the Germany, and they collected the fairy tales and they published it in the volumes, a series of volumes. Those folk tales collected by them thrown light related to what? Related to the true culture of the German nationality, or thrown light regarding the German culture. So they found a threat of French language over the German culture under the process where they collected the fairy tales. They found one threat. What was the threat? No, the French language influence on the German culture was found by them when they collected the fairy tales across the German villages. So two names are very important. So here how culture is contributed for the nationalism I am discussing. So related to this two names, Johann Gottfried Herder is term is very important. Das Oak. Das Oak means common people. August is the another term used by him, which means the spirit of nation. August. Okay. Grimm's brother, they collected the fairy tales by traveling across the different villages of the Germany. And another one is Karol Kripinski. Karol Kripinski. Operas and music. He celebrated the national struggle through what? Operas and music. Marzukas are the example. Marzukas. Marzukas are the example. So he celebrated the national struggle. Karol Kripinski was a musician. He celebrated the national struggle through what? Operas and music. Example is Marzuka. So Johann Gottfried Herder, Grimm's brother, Karol Kripinski are the very important names we need to recall related to the era of Romanticism. Here, how culture is contributing for the nationalism is very important to recognize. Not only these things, not only these personalities, even the language contributed. For here, this side I will write. Even the language contributed for the evoke of national spirit. Language. Polish language. Polish language. See, when forcefully the Russians occupied the Poland, they started to enforce their language in the church prayers, and they denied the usage of the Polish language even in the administration and in the church prayers. But the native people of the Poland, they resisted against the Russians by using their own language. Which was their language? Their language was Polish language. Even the language also contributed for what? Evoke of national spirit. Which was that language? For one more question it may come. Polish language, where? At Poland, against whom? Against the Russians it was. So these are the key points related to era of Romanticism. Cultural contribution for the evoke of nationalism. Johann Gottfried Herder, Das August, Grimm's brother collected the fairy tales. Karol Kripinski, operas and music. Marzukas are very important to recognize. Often they will ask this Marzukas for multiple choice question. And language, which is the language? Polish language is used as weapon to resist against the Russians when they implemented their language over the native Poland, or when Russians implemented their language over the Poland people. Now they resisted by using their native language, that is Polish language. Next, I want to speak about the very important two concepts, that is unification of Italy and unification of Germany. So these are the other two 5 marks questions which you can expect in your board exam. So next I will move to the unification of Italy and unification of Germany. Before going into the unification of Germany and unification of Italy, I want to throw some light regarding the revolution of the liberals. So the revolution of the liberals took place in the provinces of Italy and Germany. This can be expected for 2 marks question, Italy and Germany. So liberals were the elite class people, usually the scholars, philosophers, merchants and the traders. They come under this elite class. So they revolted against the conservative rule. They were against the conservative rule, and they asked for the constitution based parliamentary form of government. So at Frankfurt, at St. Paul Church, all German National Assembly was formed, and they decided to appoint constitutional monarchs for the Germany provinces. So the constitutional monarchship was offered for the Frederick William the Fourth. It was offered for Frederick William the Fourth, but he rejected to accept the constitutional monarchship. As he was joined with the other conservative rulers, he rejected to accept the constitutional monarchship. Regarding this, a political sketch, an image is given in your textbook, which is sketched by Julius Hubner, the fallen Germania. So the fallen Germania is related to the this political incident, the rejection of constitutional monarchship by the Frederick William the Fourth, who offered the constitutional monarchship for him means it was all German National Assembly. So that's it. This is 2 marks question, or in the multiple choice section you can expect this question. After that, even about the peasants revolt of 1848, where it happened? It happened at Paris. Peasants revolted due to the spread of subsistence crisis situation. The prices of the necessary commodities were risen up. So the king, the constitutional monarch, by the time the Louis Philippe failed to control the situation, hence the peasants revolted against him at the Paris. So this ended with the outcome of abdication of the King Louis Philippe. King Louis Philippe abdicated from the Paris. So France became republic for the second time in 1848. That is after the peasant revolt at Paris. So after that, we need to know even about the weavers revolt at Silesia. Silesia is a village in which the weavers revolted against the contractors. So contractors were getting done their works from the weavers who usually settled in the villages. So due to the delay in the payments, as the contractors made delay in the payments of the dues, the weavers revolted against whom? The weavers revolted against the contractors. So this was reported in the newspaper by William Woolf. By whom? By William Woolf. William Woolf reported this incident of Silesian weavers revolt in the newspaper. So you need to know this name for the multiple choice question. So that's it about the peasant revolt and the weavers revolt. These are all minor questions for 1 or 2 marks. So very important 5 marks question, as I said, we need to look into the making of nation states, that is unification of Germany and unification of Italy. First I will speak about the unification of Germany. So here you have to remember the ethnic group or ethnic house, Prussia. Prussia took the initiative to unify the German provinces, which was just dispatched into one nation state. Why Prussia took the initiative? Because it was the German ethnic kingdom by the time. So Prussia took the initiative after the fail of the revolution of the liberals. Prussia took the initiative to unify the Germany. So who was the king of the Prussia by the time? Means it was Kaiser William the First. Kaiser William the First. William the First. Kaiser William the First was the king of Prussia by the time of the unification of Germany. So Kaiser William the First, under as chief minister, very important, who played a very key role in the unification of Germany. Who was the chief minister of Kaiser William the First? No, it was Otto Bismarck. Otto Bismarck. Otto Bismarck took initiate. He took initiate to unify the Germany with the help of German bureaucracy and military. So with the help of military and bureaucracy, Otto Bismarck took the initiative to unify the Germany. So during this time, 3 wars were waged for the 7 years. Very important point in 5 marks question if they ask. No, please cover this point, don't miss out. 3 wars for how many years? For 7 years. For 7 years. So 3 wars were waged for the 7 years against whom? Austria, Denmark and France. These 3 are the very important names. Please remember, against Austria, Denmark and France. So against the Austria, Denmark and France, 3 wars were waged under the Otto Bismarck. What was the outcome of these 3 wars for the 7 years? No, Prussia emerged as victorious. Prussia emerged as what? Emerged as victorious. Prussia got victory over the Austria, Denmark and France with the help of the Prussian army and bureaucracy. Otto Bismarck gained victory for the Prussia against Austria, Denmark and France. These 3 wars for 7 years is very important point related to the unification of Germany. So after the outcome, the Prussia emerged as victorious. Now Kaiser William the First became what? He became the German emperor in the palace of Versailles. Kaiser William the First crowned as the emperor of Germany after the Prussia's victory over these 3 ethnic groups, Austria, Denmark and France. Here Otto Bismarck is very important. His role in the unification of Germany is very crucial. So who was Otto Bismarck? No, he was the chief minister of Kaiser William the First. Don't forget these key words: Prussia, Kaiser William the First, Otto Bismarck. 3 wars for 7 years. Prussia waged war against Austria, Denmark and France. What was the outcome? Prussia emerged as victorious. And what they did? They declared Kaiser William the First, or Kaiser William the First became the emperor of Germany after this victory of Prussia. And next it is another 5 marks question. So unification of Germany is a 5 marks question. Many times on the board they asked what was the role of Otto Bismarck in the unification of Germany, or explain the process of unification of Germany. So question whatever it may be, these points should be there in your answer. It's a must 5 marks question, unification of Germany. Please don't forget. So next it is unification of Italy. So Italy, what we are seeing today, it was not like that during the midst of the 19th century. So it was fragmented into 7 pieces. So before the unification, northern parts of the Italy was under the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Southern part it was ruled by Kingdom of Two Sicilies. So center part it was under the control of the Pope, or by the it was controlled by the Church. So what Italy we are seeing today, it was not like that. It was a fragmented pieces before its unification. Here you have to remember the Italian ethnic house, which played a crucial role in the unification of Italy, which was that Italian ethnic house. No, it was Sardinian Piedmont. Sardinian Piedmont. Sardinian Piedmont was the Italian ethnic house which took initiate to unify the Italy into a nation state. Giuseppe Mazzini, what we studied, he laid the foundation for the dream of making Italy into a nation state. So he established Young Italy. Regarding the Giuseppe Mazzini, we already discussed. So this dream couldn't fulfill by him, but the responsibility of fulfilling the dream was fallen on the shoulders of Sardinian Piedmont. So here the important name is Victor Emmanuel II. Victor Emmanuel II. He was the king of Sardinian Piedmont during the process of unification of Italy. So here his chief minister played a very crucial role. Who was his chief minister? Victor Emmanuel II's chief minister was Cavour. Chief minister Cavour role is very important. So Victor Emmanuel's chief minister, that is Cavour, played a very important role. So he was a very diplomatic with the French people. With the help of the French army, he was able to defeat the Austrian Empire, and he joined the northern parts of Italy into the map of Italy. So the northern parts of Italy, it was under the control of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So with the help of the French army, Cavour was able to join those provinces of north into the map of Italy, and the southern part was merged into the Italy by Giuseppe Mazzini's disciple. Who was that Giuseppe Mazzini's disciple? No? He was Giuseppe Garibaldi. Giuseppe Garibaldi formed an army of volunteers. What is that army of volunteers? No, it was come to be known as red shirts. It was come to be known as red shirts. So with the help of that army of volunteers in the southern regions, he was able to liberate the southern provinces of Italy from the Kingdom of Two Sicilies, and he merged it to the Italy. So here we have to remember the name Sardinian Piedmont, Victor Emmanuel II, the king of the Sardinian Piedmont during the process of unification of Italy, and chief minister of the MLA, that is Cavour, who played a role in merging the northern territories into the Italy, and Garibaldi, with the help of the red shirts, army of volunteers, he was able to merge the southern provinces of Italy. So after the complete formation of the Italy, Victor Emmanuel II became the emperor of the Italy. Similar to the unification of Germany, it is unification of Italy. Here Kaiser William became the emperor of Germany. Here after the unification of Italy, Victor Emmanuel II became the emperor of Italy. Okay. Garibaldi, you have to remember, he was a disciple of Giuseppe Mazzini was also the member of Young Italy. Okay, that's it to speak about the unification of Italy. Next, it is strange case of Britain. As the name itself says. So before going into the strange case of Britain, no, yeah, this is 5 marks question. Once you recapitulate these two 5 marks question, so let us move to the next, that is strange case of Britain. The name is itself indicating you it's a strange case of Britain. So the formation of United Kingdom of Britain is itself very strange case. It happened for centuries. So regarding the strange case of Britain, you can expect 1 or 2 marks question. It's not a major content for the examination, but for catching the 1 mark and 2 mark question, we need to go through it. So the four ethnic groups together were there in the island of the island of the British, which were the four ethnic groups. Number one, English, Welsh, Scottish, and Irish. So Welsh, English, Scottish, and Irish were the four ethnic groups together in the separate island of the Europe, which come to be known as British Island. And here English Parliament seized the power from the monarchs, that is in the 1688, very important, 1688. English Parliament seized the power from the monarch of the Britain. That is the one incident which is very important in the strange case of Britain. After that, Act of Union was signed between English and Scottish, that is between England and Scotland. Very important, multiple choice often asked. In 1707, the Act of Union was signed between the England and Scotland. The Act of Union was signed between the England and Scotland, led to the formation of United Kingdom of Great Britain. The Act of Union led to the formation of what? United Kingdom of Great Britain. United Kingdom of Great Britain. So multiple choice, many a times they asked it regarding the Act of Union, please remember. So it was signed between England and Scotland, and it led to the formation of what? It led to the formation of United Kingdom of Great Britain. That is another incident very important under the strange case of Britain. And incorporation of Ireland forcefully during 1801 led to the formation of United Kingdom of Britain. The northern provinces of the Ireland was forcefully merged into the United Kingdom of Britain. When it happened in 1801. 1801, forceful merging of the Ireland into the United Kingdom of Britain led to the complete formation of what? Complete formation of United Kingdom of Britain. So four ethnic groups are very important. Let me mention it. English, Welsh, Scottish, and it is Irish. So these four ethnic groups completely added in the United Kingdom of Great Britain. So these three dates are very important. 1688, England Parliament seized the power from the monarchs. Okay, English Parliament seized the power from monarchs. 1707, the Act of Union signed between England and Scotland led to the formation of United Kingdom of Great Britain. And in 1801, Ireland was forcefully merged into the United Kingdom of Britain. Here, Protestants were supported by British or by the English people in the case of Ireland. So Irish people were led by Wolfe. His name is very important. In multiple choice, often they will ask Wolfe. He was an Irishman who led the protest against the English people in the Ireland. So remember this name, Wolfe. So that's it to speak about the strange case of Britain. Multiple choice question is expected from this corner of strange case of Britain. At last, to conclude the chapter, another two topics are remaining. One, it is related to visualizing the uh, pictures, visualizing the nation through the pictures, that comes under the picture study. So two important images are there in your textbook. One is Marion and another one is Germania. So Germania is the representation of the Germany in the female allegory. Marion, it is representing the uh, France. So you can see those two images. Regarding the pictures, multiple choice questions are expected. So regarding the Germania, they have given a box in your textbook. So regarding that, you need to go through once. So regarding France, it is Marion, and Germany, it is Germania, as I said. So Germania is costumed with many things. So those are having some indication, or it is symbolizing some messages through the Germania. What are the attributes and what are its significance? It is given in the box for you in your text. So broken chain is being freed, and breastplate with the eagle, it is symbolizing the strength of Germany, and crown of oak leaves, it is the symbol of heroism, and sword holding in the hands of Germania representing the readiness to fight, and olive branch across the sword is willingness to make peace by the Germania, and tricolor flag, here the tricolor flag of Germany, it is having the three colors. Which are the three colors? Black, red and golden color. So that is the another thing you can see along with the Germania. And rays of rising sun, it is the indication of beginning of new era. So all these things are very important from the perspective of 1 mark. Please go through that table which is given in your textbook. Let me move to the last topic of this chapter, nationalism and imperialism. Here related to the Balkan region, 2 marks or 3 marks question may come. So let me take it, nationalism and imperialism. Nationalism and imperialism. All these things about the imperialism, now it started in the last quarter of the 19th century after 1875. So main focus is given in this part on the Balkan region. First, let us know what is meant by Balkan region. Balkan region refers to the eastern and the central part of Europe. It includes modern day Romania, Bulgaria, Albania, Greece, Macedonia. So these countries which comes in Europe in today's view, no, Romania, Bulgaria. So these countries are the parts of Balkan. So during the last quarter of the 19th century, Balkan region became more explosive. What were the reasons? So Balkan region was ruled by Ottoman Empire. It was ruled by whom? Ottoman Empire. So instability and internal struggles in the Ottoman Empire during the last quarter of the 19th century led to the disperse of the European countries from the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire became weak due to internal struggles. And even another reason, the spread of romanticism in the Balkan region led to the dispersion. See, one after the another European countries started to declare their independence based upon the history, and they got detached from the Ottoman Empire. So this led to the political instability or political anarchy in the Balkan region provinces. And why it became more explosive now? So one reason for the explosion is the political anarchy or political instability. Political instability. Political instability, it is because of what? Because of the fall of Ottoman Empire and spread of romanticism. Okay. So due to this political instability, the European powers like Russia, Germany, and even the United Kingdom of Britain took the advantage of this political instability in the region, and they fallen into race to establish their imperialistic policy over the Balkan region. Ultimately, the engage of these major powers in the Balkan region to expand their imperialistic policy ultimately led to what now? Led to the First World War. It led to the what? First World War. So when the First World War took place during 1914, and even anti-imperialistic movements were started after, due to the crisis of Balkan region. This engaging of the European powers to take the advantage of political instability led to what? Led to the First World War in 1914. So even you can see the spirit of nationalism started to spread across the globe after this incident of Balkan problem. So everywhere when nationalism started to spread, anti-imperialistic movements were started. So you can see the spread of what? Spread of nationalism, and you can also see the anti-imperialistic movement. Anti-imperialistic movement. So movement which were against to the imperialistic policy. So India also raises a banner against the imperialistic policy or colonial rule of British. So that's it to speak about the nationalism and imperialism in brief. You need to know about the Balkan region, who were ruling the Balkan region by the time Ottoman Empire. Slavs is very important term. The inhabitants of the Balkan regions were commonly known as Slavs. Why there was political instability? Due to the fall of Ottoman Empire, and as the European powers fallen into race to establish their imperialistic policy over the Balkan region, ended with the what? Beginning of First World War in 1914. After this, you can see the spread of nationalism, and everywhere the anti-imperialistic movements were started. So that is how the Europe engaged in the rise of nationalism, which converted the modern states into the nation states, and further it influenced it on the other parts of the globe. From the exam perspective, I covered almost all the contents which are very important for your board exam. It is covered, and even in the description I have given the important question PDF. You just take it out and write the answers for those questions. So those questions are almost covered in this video. So once you go through the video and attempt all those questions, it will make you perfect in this particular chapter. I hope after recapitulating the chapter might have become easy for you all for your board exam. So let me catch you back with the next chapter, which you all felt difficult, that is the print media and culture. So with that video, I will come back. So until then, keep studying, keep learning sharp. All the best for your board exam. Thank you. Let me meet you in my next video. Thank you once again. Thank you.